Alrighty, so the the voting for the third year anniversary has actually already started for global as well as JP, which I did not know. I don't know if I'm just dumb or just didn't realize that they were doing it at the same time, but I figured that JP and KR would be doing theirs first, and then we would get this whenever the update that corresponds to it came out. But it looks like JP, or well, Global is going to be doing their voting as well. So if you actually log on to your game right now, you do have to be either on a phone or an emulator. For some reason, the voting does not pop up, because I think it's because it's on a web page or whatever that you technically do it through, but it does not work on the PC version, which is quite unfortunate. But I wanted to read through the little forum post that they made about it, because I don't actually know why this is at the same time, and I'm kind of hoping they explain that. But either way, if it doesn't, oh well, it'll be a little bit more info, and then I'll show you who I voted for, and how the whole system works. So it says, to celebrate the third anniversary of Grand Cross, we have decided to hold a special survey, which they do this pretty much for every yearly sort of anniversary. For JP and KR, they normally end up doing a character vote for who's going to be on the third anniversary, or the anniversary banner, not the third anniversary, but every anniversary banner most of the time. So all knights are invited to celebrate as we ask for your favorite festival heroes. The selected festival heroes from the poll will appear in the third anniversary festival draw. So the icon and the shortcut next to maintenance. So we already have this in game. You can see it over here. This is a screen recording of my phone game. So there it is. You can see it over there. How to participate. Vote for your desired heroes via the vote icon in the tavern. You can vote once during the event period. Vote for one festival hero and 3 normal heroes. No duplicate votes are allowed. Popular heroes from the vote will be added to the festival draw lineup. Votes will be calculated from Global, Korea, and JP. Okay, so that basically means that I guess they're just going to lump all of them in together, and we're going to have the exact same banner as the JP and Korean versions would, I guess. Whereas I think in the past, they normally do JP and KR as a separate thing, because it's at a different time, and then they can have slight differences in the banner depending on who those players vote for. So kind of interesting that they're doing them all at the same time this time. I don't remember them doing that last time, but I guess I could be wrong. But it says, note, you can only vote on the survey via your mobile device, so make sure that if you have the game installed on your phone, you do the voting on there, because you literally can't on anything else except for an emulator. The vote icon may appear on the PC version, but you may not, or may be unable to participate in the survey. The position will be updated daily at 8 p.m. PDT. The name of the festival draw may be changed depending on the circumstances. You may only vote once on one of the servers, either global or Asia. And then from CM Gold, who is pondering on which heroes to vote for. So I'll just full screen this, even though it's not necessarily full screen, but you can see the icons over here. If we skip forward, because it takes a second for it to load the web page, we can see the current top 3. So you get to vote for 1 festival hero and 3 normal heroes to go on the banner. The current top votes are Dark Melee, which is understandable. Trader Melee is a fantastic unit, and he was the only dark unit to come out so far, so it makes sense that everybody's going to vote for him. Next up is King, which I think everybody is pretty happy about, and everybody seems to be voting for quite a bit. And then the last one is Escanor, which people seem to be quite upset about. I completely understand why people are voting for Escanor, but I understand why people are upset about it at the same time. My whole take on the the festival vote thing, I understand why some people vote for the characters that they do. I completely get it. I mean, there are some trolls and people who are just voting for dumb heroes just to see if they can get them in and upset other people, which is really lame. But even though Escanor is technically going to be given away for free on the free banner thing that they're doing for the third anniversary, Escanor is one of the only characters in the game whose ult hits twice, and it's a fantastic ultimate. I understand why some maybe newer players or players who haven't been lucky enough to pull extra copies of Escanor may be voting for this character, so I'm not going to complain. If he's on there, oh well, I can't use the unit, so know, and either way, there's nothing I can personally do about these people voting for the unit. So, I mean, it is what it is if he gets on. Hopefully he doesn't, because it would be more beneficial for players to get maybe a newer unit that would be a lot more helpful. I know a lot of people, I think these two characters are completely fine. Everybody wants to vote for these characters. The other one that people seem to be wanting people to vote for is Margaret in this third position, which I completely understand, because Margaret's not really a character that gets voted, or not very necessarily voted, but she's not on a whole lot of banners, so I can completely understand that. She's a very helpful unit. Maybe even Cusack could be a better position in third, but either way, I ended up voting for King just because Melly already has over 100,000 votes, so I just kind of wanted to help secure King in that position. Obviously, if you want to, you can vote for, you know, Ludociel, maybe even Cusack if you really want to, but I mean, I kind of figured people would try to vote for Bond maybe more than Escanor would, but I think it's literally the fact that everybody, like, anytime an event comes out or any sort of new game mode comes out or whatever, people are always like, oh, just use Escanor. And I could understand, like, if it's a newer player or somebody who wasn't lucky enough to pull multiple copies of Escanor being like, oh, well, my Escanor doesn't hit that hard, I need more copies of Escanor. So maybe that's where the thought process is there. So I don't know, hopefully, you know, it would benefit me more if he didn't get in, but then again, you know, this is a community vote. This is for the entirety of the community, you know, the player base. So if he gets in, it's whatever. I don't really care one way or another. It would be, you know, weird to see him win, but at the same time, I can get why people are voting for him. In the normal vote, it looks like people are really wanting to go for one Green Sariel, because he's, you know, brand new and very good. Like, he's a really great counter unit, and then the other two votes are, you know, pretty secured on being Megilda and Jormungandr. So I can completely understand this. They're the two units that you need for the bird and the deer, so I have no quarrels with that. I actually ended up voting for I did Jormungandr and Megilda, but I also did my last vote for Brawler Bond, which may sound kind of weird, but he's actually already gotten a decent amount of votes, and I kind of wanted to just help secure him on the banner, because I didn't get him whenever he came around the first time, and not that it's going to be like a guaranteed thing, you know, these are just extra characters on the banner, but Brawler Bond has actually, you know, this Red Ragnarok Bond at least, has been a pretty decent unit that I've seen a lot of, like, you know, higher up players use in the backline that they've actually invested into the character, and he seems like an actually decent sub-slot unit, and I always have trouble finding, like, good, you know, sub-slot units with decent CC and stuff like that to throw, you know, in the back line of my team. So I really want to get this Bond. If he doesn't make it into the banner, oh well, but he's got a decent amount of votes at the moment, and, you know, people are voting for a lot of different characters so far, and I mean, at the end of the day, you know, vote for whoever you think would help benefit the community the most, and, you know, if that's characters that you need, I can completely understand that, but, you know, it is what it is. So vote for who you think is actually good and would make a good banner, but, you know, I can completely understand if you're like, oh, I don't have Scotty, you know, vote for Scotty. I mean, I get it, you know, I've already seen other people vote for Scotty. I can understand that, but, you know, people are complaining like, oh, like, Green Escanor is pretty high on the list, and Blue Melly or Blue Demon Melly are high on the list, and I really can't tell if those are just trolls, or Green Escanor is actually not a half bad unit, and I can understand maybe people just voting for him because he's Escanor or whatever, but he's pretty outdated now, so it's really hard for me to tell if that's just people trolling or if they actually need that unit, because if you think about it, Blue Demon Melly's not on a whole lot of banners now anymore. He's on banners every once in a while, and Green Escanor is really not on banners anymore either, so maybe it's just people who are either newer to the game who are like, I don't have that character and I want that character, voting for him. But either way, that's pretty much it. Those are my, you know, characters that I ended up voting for. Hopefully you guys are participating and voting for a decent lineup as well, so that way we can have a fantastic banner for the 3rd anniversary. But that is pretty much it from me. So if you are like me and you didn't realize that the voting was on global as well, make sure that you log in on your phone and try to cast a vote really quickly, or just whenever you get a chance before the vote ends, so that way you can kind of help contribute. But that is pretty much it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.